And you just popped my helmet off
Yeah,
too, by the
it
way.
was flying.
So what does it feel like to really get, when someone really gets you?
Yeah, like it's kind of like that. You get a little bit blurry. It's hard to see, and you just try and keep calm and find out like where he is, and just get throwing again. Once you get on that offense and start throwing more punches, throw as many as I can.
Is that your style? Just kind of throw as many as you can? Or
No, yeah. I never used to be that way. It used to be more tactical. Sit back, wait, and wait for that opportunity. And I think it's something I worked on. I had to change my style, and now it's throw as much as I can and be extremely offensive.
Yeah. When you're the guy pinning the guy, what are you concerned about?
Mostly, just keeping that good defensive position, defensive side. You want to make sure you have a good stick, good active stick. Stick on puck if you can. If he's a smaller guy, really lean on him.
Can you speak a little bit about how you use intimidation to affect the other team?
A lot of it's mind games and trash talk and things like that. But a big part of it is just going out there and playing hard and being hard to play against. If you get in there and you're on the forecheck, quick on the forecheck every time and finishing your checks, guys don't want to go out there. And that's what it's all about is creating more opportunities for your teammates by doing things like that, by being hard to play against and guys not wanting the puck, not wanting to take it. The guy might be a skilled guy, but if he doesn't want it, then he's not as effective as it when he does.
Can you talk a little bit about when the good times are to fight and when it's a bad time to fight too, right?
Yeah, I think there's no real horrible time to fight. I think there's certain times that aren't that beneficial to your team. For good times to fight, when your team needs that spark, it could be the first second drop of the puck, right. Start of a game, set the tempo, and I think other times too is a big part of it is sticking up for teammates. It's huge. If somebody's taking advantage of them, you're there for them. You guys are like brothers out there, so it's important to get in there and be there for that guy.
That's huge, and we have that. So if you go after a guy, that doesn't want to fight, you have a tough guy on the ice. It's important to have a tough guy on the ice with your superstars.
Yeah,
that tough guy's going to come in and take the fight for him.
Perfect. That's exactly. That's exactly. That's the culture of hockey. Being there for one another and sticking up for each other. That's what it's all about.